This is from CBS Sports, ranking the AFC contenders by tier. Tier 1 in a league of their own, they go the Chiefs. Tier 2, real deal contenders, Ravens, Bills, Texans. Tier 3, fringe contenders, Bengals, Jets, and Dolphins. Okay. Tier 4, wild card wilderness, Colts, Jaguars, Steelers, Chargers. Tier 5, not so hot, they go with the Browns. Browns have the defense to contend as their group led the league in total defense. However, Deshaun Watson has been a horrific investment. He is playing like one of the worst quarterbacks in football since he's become a Brown. He's coming off having surgery on his throwing shoulder. Again, those are factual, but I could look at it and say he's also 8-4, and they're redesigning the offense. And again, the question I would have for somebody that writes one of these, tell me a guy who's 28 years old, who hasn't had a catastrophic injury, who's been a Pro Bowler for 3 years, and then fell off the face of the earth. Nobody can do it.
Yeah, hey, this is a curious ranking system to me. If you just even look at the tier that's right above Cleveland with the Colts and the Chargers and Jaguars, you're telling me you would take them over the Browns this year in the AFC. That's ludicrous. It's the disrespect of the roster that's been built here. It's just, and we know what it is. We know it's the Watson tax, and they didn't hide it in the article. At least they're laying all their doubts on this one player. And I do believe, like, you could say it's not been a good investment. Okay, I'll agree with you there. I'll go down that road. But to act like he's the worst quarterback in the league, that's just purely not true. Like, it's, the national perception and the public beatings just don't stop. Like, it's, and it's because of the small sample size. I get it. But even if you extrapolate that sample size over the course of a season, he's a mid-tier quarterback. Now, is that good enough for the investment? No, absolutely not. And it's not good enough to get you where you want to go. But to say that it's just this god-awful albatross that's going to stop you from ever doing anything, it's just purely nonsense.
Here's the thing, and there's a couple things. They haven't not made any roster moves because of the contract. They also knew there was going to be a suspension year 1. So they knew they were looking at year 2. Year 2 got short-circuited by an injury. Let's see what happens. And again, that's the fair thing is he hasn't been able to play like 5 games in a row. Can you imagine even taking a guy like Joe Burrow? All right, you're going to play 2 games. You got to sit out for 3. All right, you can come back in now for 2. You got to sit out for 5. That's not how that position's played.
No. And if you just look at the trajectory of his career, he's always gotten better as the season went along, and he's been prevented through injury of not having that, and the suspension, which is self-inflicted. Whole nother discussion. But I just think that when you look at it as a whole, like it's we have to let it play out, and until it does, we're all just in the wind. But there's a thing in sports media where there's an inability to let things play out, and you feel like you have to put everything in a bucket. So right now he's just in this horrible bucket. Like, that just seems to be where everybody wants to deposit him. So he has to play his way out of that to gain that nationally. But I think internally, I don't think the front office feels that way. I think they see him in practice. They see how he works with the receivers. They see how he's being integrated in this new offense, how he's taking leadership into it. And I think they feel pretty good about what's in store for this season.